Can you go into more detail about all the factors that are needed to be considered when pricing your products or services for a new market, specifically in the current climate change of tariffs and regulatory changes, right?
Exactly. Yeah. There are too many factors. Maybe we won't be able to consider all of them in such a short time, but I would like to mention a few important ones. Number one is customer and target market expectations. We need to have a firm understanding of our target markets, how much they are willing to pay for our products. It depends on their purchase power, it depends on their current market situations and many other factors. And I personally believe that many Canadian companies know a lot about Canadian market and US market, but we may need more insight on European and Asian markets if we want to diversify. So that is one point, and maybe we need to do market research. Like we are not completely aware of what is our customers' expectation. The second factor would be competitors. We know well about our competitors and rivals in Canadian market, in the US, but maybe again, we need to know more about manufacturers like ourselves in Asia, in Europe, and how they do business, and where my brand and my product sits in the positioning map. So we need to know about competitors and what they are doing. The next factor that should be considered in our pricing is, I call it, I prefer to call it supply chain network design or channels of distribution. Like, am I going to sell online through my online shop directly to a consumer in, for example, Germany? Am I going to sell to a retailer who is selling the product to the next step in the chain, which is the consumer? Am I going to sell to a wholesaler, importer, agent? That relationship will definitely affect our pricing. And the more we can get closer to our final consumer, the more we can price our products. And this is something that we need to analyze. And I believe it highly depends on our market entry strategy. And we should think about it, which one works best for us. So even before pricing, we need to think about market entry strategy and different solutions that we may have. But finally, one of the most important factors is costs. If I want to price something, for sure, I'm doing business to gain money, and I need to consider my costs. And here we have a wide range of costs that we should consider in our pricing. And these may be classified into production costs, logistics costs, and after-sales services costs. In production, we have raw material and a lot of other items. We have transportation, customs duty, and many other factors in logistics. And we also have after-sales services. All these items depend on Incoterms on one side, on the basis of which rule I'm going to sell, and second, on regulations shift. So if I'm selling to the US based on, for example, FDA regulations, and now I'm going to sell to Saudi Arabia or to Dubai or any other city or country, I need to consider their regulations. I need to consider their requirements for the product, for packaging, and many other details that may affect my pricing. Like I give a final example and then finish my part. If you are selling to the US and you are using wooden packaging, you may not have too much complicated concerns because we have the same regulations between US and Canada. But if you want to sell to an African country, then regulations may be different. We may have different requirements on the basis of ISPM 15, international standards for phytosanitary measures, and some other details. So we need to consider new regulations, new systems, costs, and all those things in pricing.